Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Can you hear me?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. I do hear. Let me turn the volume up on the DJ. Let me hear you one more time, girlfriend.
Can you hear me? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Can you hear me?
Welcome.
You hear me now?
Well, goddamn. Welcome to another episode of Let's Get It Together with Jnine
And Jezzi.
And we are here once again. Before I get into my rant.
Your rant?
Well.
What you ranting about today?
Let me make sure. I see DJ on, but I'm not so sure I hear her like I want to in my ears.
She low.
Y'all can't be seeing my edges like that. But we are here today, and I don't have a real rant per se, but you know how we never really, first of all, how are you?
Okay, let's take it from the top.
Let's take it from the top.
I'm all right. It's a little hectic, a little busy. I'm like busier than I've been in a very long time, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Me neither.
So I'm just trying to keep up. Huh?
How you handling it?
Some days are better than others.
Some days are
That's
better than
all
others.
I can say. Some days are better than others, and today is a decent day. No complaints. I'm a little hungry.
We might have to go and get us some food afterwards. But
yes,
the reason why I had a little rant, and I'm doing okay. I'm feeling the same thing. You just pretty much, you ain't got to ask me because you pretty much just summed up exactly how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. You know, we kindred spirits and I'm all black.
Right.
We do have our guests in house, but I just want to say happy Women's History Month.
Thank you.
And
to all the women.
To all the women. Shout out all nationalities, creed, everybody. Happy International History Women's Month.
Women.
I don't know what you call it because that's part of my rant.
Okay.
Part of my rant is you and I never really subscribe to a lot of these man-made holidays and designated months, and we don't really right. And exactly. I think the reason why, even though no disrespect to anyone, because a fight is a fight,
right?
But when National Women's Month or Day was the concept, it didn't have black women in mind.
No, it didn't. Most of these holidays and celebrated whatever they are, most of them didn't have black people in mind, period.
Right.
We're an afterthought.
Right. It's so much so that I asked my mom, I said, Mom, is it, do I need to feel indifferent or some kind of way about the way I feel about these kinds of things that come around? And we celebrate them sometimes just because the calendar said so, or social media says so, or social. Because I did a little homework, and I watched the ladies that come on Tuesday. Shout out to all the ladies on the radio right now on Hot 702.5 FM, and they were talking about the history of this Women's Month. So I said, let me do my own research.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, this lady, Laura X, organized a march in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was interesting only because that's our hometown.
Right.
So she bought back this thing that was back, it created like in 1911. She bought it back in the late 60s.
Okay.
And she instrumented this whole little march, and her little saying was, you know, pretty much she put that X on the end of her name because she was trying to represent that
Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam type of stuff.
So yeah, she's basically saying I don't want my master's last name either, and I'm thinking, okay, but she's white, so I don't. I didn't do my whole history behind that, but I respect the gangster because people say marching doesn't matter. Clearly, it did because it put it on the books. Jimmy Carter put it on the books. So marching does matter, people. It's just it's an action to raise awareness to issues.
Awareness, right.
And usually those issues have to be addressed once people get on the streets and they start, boycotting and deciding they weren't going to contribute or they were going to, contribute their dollars and stuff like that. I
think the boycotting and withholding of money creates the bigger impact than us just getting out there and marching. I mean, if we start with, this is a money country, a money-hungry country. Everything is driven by that.
Right. So my mom's response was somewhere around 3/8/1969, the Jimmy Carter instituted this day as that day. She said, but her fight didn't end. Because mind you, we were born in 1970.
Yeah.
So our parents were still fighting discrimination and still trying to overcome. So Women's Day did not relieve us of anything. Because they were always trying to suppress black women's contribution and our history. They will always try to duplicate and hide what we've contributed. So I just want to say that because African American women are still overlooked, so are indigenous women. We're still coming up missing. We're still thousands by the thousands. Indigenous women are coming up missing. So I'm not trying to put a damper on the day, but I'm saying keep it all relative.
Yep.
And I celebrate only the knowledge and history that I learn when I go to do research.
Okay.
But Mom,
research over me.
Mom, hello. Mom really, she said, no, calm down. It's okay. You don't have to feel like you need to contribute on your platform just because it's the social norm. You just acknowledge the Sojourner Truths and the Harriet Tubmans that helped usher in black women into this issue. Right. So I just want to throw that out there.
Power to the black women.
Power to the black women and all the ones who are still fighting on the front lines to make sure that we have platforms like this, that we can speak our minds, that we can plead the Fifth Amendment, that we that the 19th Amendment enables us to vote. You know what I'm saying? Not based on sex. So shout out to all the women. So that was not a rant in a discriminatory way or not that,
or
but
negative.
In a negative way.
Yes.
So anyway, welcome to Let's Get It Together.
I
don't know if it's up to me to bring our guest in without further ado, but I'm going to do it because here we are. Welcome to...
The
She's
fellas.
So proud.
What?
I was able to navigate a move.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I brought the fellas in the house.
Hey.
Yeah.
We in here. What up?
Welcome.
Hello, fellas.
Q Mecca 2 Tex up.
And
Big Suge, a.k.a. Sugar Doja the Great, a.k.a. Mr. Tell Your Friends
What's in
About
that
Me.
cup?
that's your red cup.
That's
Oh,
your
I
cup.
got a red cup?
I ain't gonna cut out my intro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And drop the mic. You a mic dropper.
I didn't do this.
All right. You got to,
I'll fix it. I'm still present.
Right on.
yeah, was there
Sorry about
anything
that,
else
Suge.
in your
I
intro?
didn't mean to
No, ma'am, I'm great.
interrupt.
Happy International Women's Month, something like that.
It's a history month. I think
History?
It's a day when it's
I think it's
international,
Women's Month.
and then it's a Women's History
It's
Month.
It's a day within the month.
So yesterday was a day within a
Oh
whole month.
wow!
It's a day within the month.
Wait. It's a day.
The day within a
Cisco
month.
/
It's hard to
Porch.
keep up, ain't it?
We ain't got no.
I love y'all. Oh, I love y'all.
You got
Ooh.
to. You
Got to.
absolutely
You
have
gotta
to.
love
A day within the month.
That's
That's
'cause
right.
What's
you know,
the hour?
That's
Is
'cause
it
you-
420?
But let's be clear. The month is the history. So it forces us to go and look at women's history contributions, especially if you want to find out what African American women have done back in Africa
Yes.
when we were queens and rulers and armies, hence the Woman King and stuff like that. I think that's the inspiration behind the month. But
Agreed.
quite frankly, women need to come out of the suppression that men have put women under,
Right.
not black men. Let's be clear. You only follow
They
suit.
follow too.
The American suit. that suppressed women as a whole. We couldn't vote. We weren't recognized. We were abused in our homes, and there was no refuge. So that kind of stuff is educational to see how far we've come. But
Right.
anyway, we appreciate the happy thank you and all of that stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all look beautiful today.
Yes, y'all do.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate all the
Appreciate it.
listeners. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. And listen, let me say
IG
this.
Live, let's get it.
Let's get it. I was talking to a couple of my girlfriends, and they were like, when are the men coming back on the show? I'm like, bitch, we have a whole concept that we've been talking about food and
Right.
entertainment and industries, and you want
Right.
these Negroes back. No
Oh,
disrespect.
yeah.
No
I sign
disrespect.
autographs.
They
I
was like, no, we want to hear the men. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I hear what you're saying.
They want to hear their perspective.
That's
'cause,
how
you
they
know,
learn more.
we-
You learn more by having
exactly.
a different perspective. In
Absolutely.
I ain't
Yeah,
got no reason to lie.
they've enjoyed it.
He
Yeah.
only lying about that hat.
You hat fishing around here? You hat fishing?
Catfishing.
I know what it looked like.
Let's get it.
So
Together.
Kanoe has joined us. Hey, ladies, and
Hey,
good
hey,
evening,
ladies.
ladies. Nicole, Michelle,
Keep
I
it lit.
love it. I love it. Keep it lit. Keep it lit. So today
Oh,
I thought
Lord,
I
is that
thought
Cisco. She done handed me some Cisco.
She drinking Cisco on air, y'all. It's about to get wild.
just a little something. So I thought I'd ask a couple of questions because I love the research perspective. That research over me search. Is
search,
that what that
right.
boy said? Okay, I love that. So I was doing a little bit of research in the background, and I thought today I'm just going to do a little question and answer, and I'm going to let you guys take the floor. The only way that I would interrupt this get in the ring and interrupt and throw the white towel in is if we want to elaborate. 'Cause
Right on.
That's our
That's
position.
her stance.
I
I'm
agree.
just making it clear.
I agree.
That is her stance.
I agree.
She is not speaking for Jesse.
I agree.
Area. So most men do a lot for women to attract the woman, and women do a lot. We put on. Look at how I look today. It is because I like the way I look, but I also love the attention. There's no lie about it. I put on red lipstick because I love the attention. I do.
I like the
love-
honesty.
Yeah, I love
That's
the
dope.
men's attention. I know what I'm doing when I do it. Sometimes it's very intentional and purposeful. However, the problem comes in when you use what you got or you use those avenues to then trick or manipulate or use and abuse someone else because you know you can or because you have ulterior motives. So that being said, we know that, so the biggest issue is when you take advantage of somebody else and you know you have no intention on being right, doing right by that person. And then we wind up getting intertwined with that person. And it becomes,
That entanglement.
that entanglement. I think that really applies to those types of situations, right? So I want to start off by asking, how do you feel about that? About the extra that we do to attract the people, and then when we attract somebody that we know. So this is a cycle.
Okay.
You purpose to attract somebody because you want some attention, you want some company, you want some intimacy or whatever the case is, and then you turn it into a relationship, knowing it should have stayed a one night stand or it should have stayed in that position, but you're in a position to. The person, one of the other, is in a position to run that thing. Right? They know that it was more than what it needed to be. I'm asking that question because I really am curious. I had 2 women call me and ask me about that, and they wanted to hear what you guys had to say. I don't know if
The
it's too
male
general.
perspective.
Like manipulation, you mean?
It really boils down to manipulation. Yeah. Have at it.
Men. Well,
I want to hear this too.
I'm trying. I don't know how to answer that because it's like kind of we kind of used to it, so we understand it. Like we understand that you wearing that, you doing this. Just say for instance, keeping it real, all women ain't beautiful, but they have certain parts of their bodies they can put together to make themselves look feasible enough for a man to get their attention.
Sure.
They use that asset, wear what they need to wear, put on what they need to put on to get that attention, right? We fall for it every time. So beauty is what it is. Beauty is what it is.
So once again, women have the power.
Yeah,
We have
women
the
always
power.
have the power. You just abusing the shit out of it. That's all.
And so let me get your take.
I think that it's natural for men and women to use whatever God gave them to attract the opposite sex
And other
to get
tactics.
it, to attract them. It's just like you said when it's manipulation. So I think it's cool. Women gonna look good because men like women that look good.
Right.
Men might lead with money because they feel like that works, and women like money,
Material,
Right.
yeah.
power, and material things. I don't think it's a problem until, like you said, when you try to manipulate the person for it, or like you said. I know I got homeboys who was like, yo, I'm in her phone as the food guy. He's like, so what that means is when she hungry, she ain't got no money, she call me knowing she don't like me,
Hey,
and then
big
I'm going to
head.
take her out on a date. That's the manipulation.
Right.
We don't like that.
Right.
That's why me and Suge talk to the men who are desperate that will continue to do that.
Oh my God, stop being soft.
Even though you know she's on that.
She ain't gonna smash you,
Yeah.
bro. Stop.
Now you teaching them that they could do this. And then, what you won't do, another man will do. Man, we got to put our foot down sometimes and be like, listen, just because you fine and you trying to, all right, the difference between a trick, because some people think anybody who spends money on a girl or a woman that they like is a trick. A trick is somebody who's spending money on a woman that would never spend the time with them if they weren't spending the money on them.
Because it ain't tricking if you got it.
That's what a
is
trick
tricky.
is.
Absolutely.
If you like her, she like you, that's your girl. Hey, go take your girl to dinner, buy her flowers, do all the shit.
That's your
Right.
girl.
If she only with you because you buying something,
There you go.
you're a trick.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I agree.
If you know it, for sure.
Even if you don't know it, you still want it. And you should recognize it after a few
After
times.
a few, you should.
But are some men okay with being tricked
Some-
because
hey.
they know they might not necessarily have the looks? They got the
Hey,
money
she's
though.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely
You're
right.
absolutely
because
correct.
I would say depending on who it is to that person,
That's a fact.
depending on who it is to that man,
You're right.
he'll
Some-
accept that.
it's
Okay,
the
I
trade-off.
know my role.
Right, it's
As long
the
as she
trade-off.
give me attention back, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Some men are like that.
Yep.
Right.
And a lot of older men are like that. They like,
Yes.
look, I paid for the young woman's time
Yes.
to just her energy to be with me, and I know what it
Niggas out
is.
they
She
mind,
know what it
right?
is. We know what it is. And if it's that way, then it's cool. It's no manipulation. It's like we both understand what's going on.
Them sugar daddies and them sugar babies.
Sugar daddies and sugar
They got a
babies.
whole
So you're right.
website.
Some men will trick and cool with it. Like, hey, I got the money. I want to spend it on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Some men spend money on cars, TVs, whatever. And then some might
Watches.
spend it on women.
Right.
Trips. That's how you
Trips.
get them trips.
Trips.
Them trips.
So whatever. So I ain't even knocking it. Just understand what it is. If you,
Stop
I
doing
might
that shit.
become a trick if I'm old and lonely. I'm like, if I'm 80 and I ain't got my wife died, I'm gonna have this young girl come around me, give me a massage, pay her, get her next weekend, like Robert Kraft.
Well,
Shut
you
up,
know-
Robert
There you
Kraft.
go. There you go.
said
Well, it's
shut
sugar
up.
mamas too. Don't get it twisted.
It's
There be
sugar
some
mamas
sugar
too.
mamas out there too.
It's different
Where
with
they at?
mamas though. It's different
Where
with
the sugar mamas at?
It's different.
They round.
Sugar mamas are real nurturing too, you know.
Yeah.
I got
Yes.
But
I got a
it's-
cousin that likes sugar mamas. You know what I'm saying? He love him some sugar mamas, and they treat him very well.
Yeah,
he
they
get
do.
watches and
It's
trips,
something
and
though.
you know,
Yeah, because he cute.
and he's cute. And he's slanging.
And
Let him
he's
tell it.
slanging.
Let him tell
I
it.
mean-
I
Hey,
don't
he
know.
doing
It's my
something if
family,
he getting
so-
watches.
You the one
Well, he's
said
taking
it.
pictures of every
I
goddamn body.
did. I did. You know, I'm pretty raw. I get it from my daddy.
So yeah, I think it's
Stop blaming your father.
I think it's natural
Go ahead.
for us to
Rest in
attract
peace,
one another.
Daddy. Rest in peace.
But it was manipulation then where it becomes, that's where you could get yourself in trouble,
Yeah,
depending
that
on
ain't
the
cool.
feelings of people.
That's
That's
like
where
going,
you
keep
gotta
going out
go.
on a date with a dude knowing you don't like him like that.
Yeah.
But because he paid or because he easy to talk to or some shit like that, you just keep going out with him till you find whatever you need to find. Cause
But I mean, if you tell him, look, I'm not going nowhere with you, but I'll take the dates, and he cool with that, then he can't be mad.
Ain't it? Do your thing.
Y'all had an agreement.
Right.
That's a
If you
situation.
don't tell him and you lead him on, and then he catch feelings, then he's become a stalker or crazy and deranged, like Martin said.
You agreed to
Then
this.
You should have been straight with him. You can't play the victim when you led him on. Put it that way. So you're not a
I
victim;
agree
you're a
with that.
volunteer.
Right.
So you
I
gotta
agree.
be honest. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You gotta just, if you can't do something and then play the victim. If you
Right.
know what you're doing, acknowledge
up
that,
all the way.
be responsible for
All the
it,
way.
and say, look, this was my fault because I did this, and then we cool with that. But it's hard accountability is a hard thing for a lot of people.
And
lot.
What you want is attention. And all attention
Facts.
ain't good attention.
That's
right.
You were trying to attract who you want to attract, but it's still, they still, them 16 dudes still out there.
So Kanoy says, or they're old and want companionship. And listen, Kanoy, I have a whole stand-up behind old men. Ain't nothing wrong with it, honey. I think women need to go ahead and look at some of these older men. They situated. They have pensions. They have retirements. They have
Y'all are terrible on Women's Month.
I'm just saying these men want companionship. They do.
I understand. They going to spend for it, too. And do what you do.
And they're going to spend for it. So candor and transparency give them a choice to decide. That's correct. I do give them a choice to decide.
I agree with that.
Moving on to this cycle, how do you guys feel? Women believe, a lot of women that I've talked to believe that all men are gay or have gay tendencies.
What?
That is a throw off. I am going to be a little random here.
Say that again. Can you take that
do
question
not
from
say
the
that
top?
again.
No, but you said some women.
No. Well, it probably is some women, but all the women that I've ever talked to feel like all men have gay tendencies.
In your whole lifetime.
Is that
I've
a real
said that.
Is that a real statement?
I
don't
can't
believe
say that I've said that.
I don't think that they...
Because I am a woman.
You sure you're a woman?
I am a woman. Yeah.
Where y'all
Well,
from?
happy Women's Day. They from the...
mean, am I
the
Well,
Bay.
I wanted you to touch
I
on
was
it
joking.
only
You know I'm
because
talking
right
shit.
now we're gaying up America. And I'm not afraid to say it.
They're feminizing the men and making the women more masculine, making the men more feminine.
And they're not...
And it's an agenda. And
they're not
if anybody doesn't see it.
I'm gay enough for the both of us. Look at
And,
Kanoy.
Oh, my God, stop.
So, the only... I think I threw that in there. It was part of my research, and I'll tell you why. Let me give you a little background behind my research. So 56% of Americans, 20 plus across the U.S., around the 100 largest cities are single. Detroit has the longest single share of 75% of single residencies, 20 and older, followed by Cleveland, followed by Baltimore. So you know where to go if you're looking for somebody.
Woo-wee.
Okay. And then the
It's
cities
black out
with
there,
the
too.
largest differential
Blackout.
in single men the differential between single men and single women is Greensboro, North Carolina, Laredo, Texas, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, New York. And I'm bringing that a full circle only because what I found, this isn't me. This is truly research that I did, and I did it across platforms. I didn't just go to Wikipedia or one source.
Right.
And what it says is, and listen, Oakland, California made the list.
Yeah, it did. It's been on the list. Oakland has
Those
been
are,
on
and
the
you
list,
said you
and they
see
like
all the
black
women you
women
know,
out
right?
there.
You just said all the women you know, and where you
She
from?
didn't mean that.
No, listen. let me rephrase it. And the reason why I said it, so black people are much more likely to be single by 59% than any other race.
Right.
Okay. One of the things that they found is that men in their 20s right now are less likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely.
Mm.
And so it referenced the fact that men are content with being at home, and they've got Pornhub, they've got Uber Eats, they've got all these things.
PS4, 5, and all that shit.
So men are actually
Blow
more
up
on
dolls.
the trend is now leaning
Fake
towards
coochies.
more.
I mean,
It's true.
Nothing like
It's
the real
true.
thing, fellas.
It's the truth. So a lot of women that I've talked to are concerned about, with all of that in mind, that men are, if given the position, they have, gay tendencies. And so I just thought I'd ask from two real men how it's being, I guess Jez basically said it.
That fucking question disrespectful.
It's a
what
disrespectful
now?
question.
Yes.
it's disrespectful
But
Hell
you
yeah.
don't agree.
to a straight
I just
man.
want you to
It's
talk to the
disrespectful
women
to a straight
about
man.
how they feel about straight men with the possibility of being gay.
True. You just made a statement yourself saying all the women in your life that you met said some men have gay tendencies, right?
That all the men have gay tendencies?
A lot of the women that I've
Okay,
talked to.
right.
yes.
Where are you from?
Oh wow.
It's not where I'm from. It's
I'm
where
asking
I'm
you a
at.
question, sweetheart. I'm asking you a
'Cause I've
question,
been in
sweetheart.
Vegas 15
I'm asking
years.
you a question, sweetheart.
But I'm from Oakland.
Okay. Who made the list you just said?
Well, no, let's be clear about what the list is. The list isn't about gay men in Oakland.
I get it.
The list is about single availability in Oakland.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yes.
So it is a path.
Your point.
I made it already.
It's a
Well,
path.
what?
Well,
Elaborate.
anyway, we're going to move on to the next question if we can't seem to get these. These are what
What
women
was
are
the question?
telling me.
Because I wanted to answer.
How do
it.
you
ahead,
feel
G.
about being a straight man and how women have a perception that all men have gay tendencies?
Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that they have that perception. I think, because I talk to a lot of women and I say, hey, if I'm going to use me as an example. I'm not gay. But if I was to tell you I slept with a man before, would you still date me? And all of them, 100%, said no.
No.
They're all black women, obviously. They're all black women. They're like, no way I could date you if you had sex with a man before or if you bi or any of those things. So I don't know if they really believe that. But what I do know is that stat that you brought up, I don't know what's the age range, but it said that the younger men are having less sex, getting married less.
Yes.
They're awkward. They can't talk to women because they're all on the phone all the time.
Right.
So I think that is true. Because I talked to some young men in my job, and I'm like, yo, you ain't got no girlfriend and you a virgin, and he like 26.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you.
He don't even want a girl. He ain't even looking for that. So I think that might be true. But I don't think that straight men are gay. I think that a straight man is going to be straight and a gay man is going to say what Tank said on the podcast a while ago. Like, you got to suck a dick 3 times to really be gay. No, if you're thinking about sucking a dick and you're a man,
What?
you might be gay.
He did.
He
Tank
did
said
say
some wild
that.
shit, man.
He did say
I was like,
that.
what is he talking about? Why is he saying this? He said that on Angela
he
Yee.
still
Angela Yee podcast. He said that if you to be gay, you got to suck it 3 times. No, a straight man ain't even thinking about that. That's not one thing that goes through our mind. We be trying to figure out how can we say what we really feel about a lot of things that's going on with our children.
Yeah.
That's what we be trying to figure out. It's hard for a straight black man without being labeled racist, misogynistic, oppressive, phobic, homophobic, transphobic, all the
All of the
phobic.
above.
Men, like real men, masculine men, can't even say, "Yo, I don't want my son to wear a dress." That's transphobic or homophobic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want our son to be women. We don't want our son to say, I'm a girl today, Dad.
Right.
We ain't roll with that. No straight man is rolling with that or push that agenda.
Right.
But when you say that, you get attacked by all of the other demographic of people. That includes women too.
Right.
Black women.
A lot of black women will stand up.
Yeah, they be like, oh, you're homophobic. Yeah.
I've
like,
seen that a lot online.
Like, yo, y'all raising our sons. You can't see what you're doing. Look at what you're doing.
So I know that was a throw off of a question, but it just so happened to be that a couple of girls that I was talking to was like, no, all men have gay tendencies. I just think they just need to be in the right situation, if they're in the right position. And I'm like, I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah,
I don't subscribe to that either.
Me being a straight man, that's never happened and never will.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on since we feel like it's a slightly disrespectful question. But it was a question that was posed to me by one of my girls, and I said, well, let me just ask the gentlemen what they feel.
You should have texted me that one.
No, I like that you asked it. Let her know. She listened. No, that's not true.
She's
Was that in
That's
the
not
group
true,
chat?
young lady.
I don't know whoever you are. I don't know who the hell
you
you've been running into. You need to get out of that environment, ma'am.
But
didn't see that
with
in
that
the
said,
group
there
chat.
are some men who, I got some gay people in my family who told me, yo, that guy that you think, he not what you proclaimed. So there is some of those guys, but I don't think that those are straight guys. I think that those are guys in the closet or hidden or they're not true to themselves.
Fully.
If you true to yourself, you true to yourself. So that means you got to be what you
know
are.
what they really want to do.
Exactly. That's my 2 cents on that.
You can't go back once you pick a side.
Once you pick a side,
think about that. You can't go back.
Well,
you can't be delivered.
There are some people who
cannot
feel
be
very
delivered.
strongly that they were delivered. Your Kirk Franklins of the world who feel like they had, and he went on to be a success and married his wife, and he fought the demons because he couldn't help that he was molested. He just didn't understand. But anyway, I digress. That is not what that was about. I asked a question that one of my girls asked today, and I said I would ask. Now,
take all of their questions.
Now, men tend to be emotionally deficit. They tend to not share their emotional, and it actually winds up hurting them more than it does help them.
I agree with that.
So, And so their suicide rate is higher. Their heart failure is higher. And I just wonder how much of it is attributed to the fact that men do not. So here's what happens. Women run to each other. And so one of my questions was going to be, do you guys feel like these girls' trips are a hindrance to a solid relationship when they go on these girls' trips with their friends? And I asked that, let me lead up to that, is because they're finding that men tend to treat friendships as a luxury instead of a necessity. Whereas girlfriends, we take our emotions, we take our some of even our intimacy, and we spend more time with each other. And so we talk more about what we're feeling and what we're going through, and maybe that contributes to our long life. I don't know.
Our longevity.
Yeah. But how do you feel? Because women want emotionally in touch men. Is that?
To an extent.
To an extent. Yeah, we don't.
To an extent.
Have the floor.
They don't necessarily want the man that cries every time you try to have a serious conversation. That's not really attractive to women. But some men, that's how they react emotionally when you try to talk to them. But they want to know.
Can you stop saying where you meet these dudes at? Because there is a world of men out there that we need you guys to reach.
Right.
This is true.
I agree with that.
We don't want
we
don't want a beta man.
I want to know where you meet them at so I can go there.
we want masculine men.
Right.
But we also want men that are in touch with their emotions, that they're not built up and pent up in a way that is actually detrimental to our black men.
Real talk. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go.
Real talk. You're not getting anything out of a man until he can trust you.
I can agree with that.
And that's a deep trust. Like I trust her, but I need one more. Okay, now I can tell her something.
So how about a therapist? Can we tell a pastor, a therapist? Why? Because we're talking about longevity of your life.
Right.
Okay.
Which has a lot to do with how you process information, stressful situations.
Because it's going somewhere in your body to house itself.
Because that's not how my daddy was taught. You don't cry and you don't talk about it. You work through it and you fix it and you get over it.
That's what most men are taught.
I agree.
So we need to change that.
That's true.
That aspect.
I'm going to say that's a whole nother generation.
But you know that. All right, now I got to get in.
Please.
You know that men are conditioned to think that way, and a lot of it has to do with the women. From the way they teach their sons to the way they look at their man if he does cry or if he does show some sensitivity. Yeah. So we all got to be accountable for the atmosphere that we create. I put it that way. Right. So what I'm saying is for like I just said, for a straight black man, it's hard to say your feelings without getting attacked. Like, oh, you this, you that, you misogynistic, you you say what you feel and you get attacked. So it makes it hard to really talk to your women. And you got to talk to your boys. We have talks. Me, Suge, Nate, all the homeboys, we have talks. But when we try to talk to women, it's like they not hearing us. It's a disconnect. Or they think that we're trying to oppress them or we're homophobic. And me, I'm not homophobic because I got all the community in my family. I just believe that you shouldn't force your lifestyle onto nobody. Right. It's like no one should be able to force their lifestyle. Live your lifestyle. I don't want to harm you. I don't want you to be harmed. But I don't have to agree with your lifestyle, just like I don't have to agree with your religion. My daddy is a Muslim. My grandma's a Christian. They don't agree with religions, but we can live together, and you can live out your Muslim pathway, and she can live out her Christian pathway. So all I'm saying is, as a man, we don't have the room or the vulnerability, and if we did, to tell our women the true feelings about how we feel. If we do, then we're lucky. But if we put it on social media, then we're going to get killed. I remember saying, they said, believe all women. I said, no.
What'd you say?
That don't make sense. Believe all women. I said, no, let's listen to what they say and then investigate. Believe all women sounds like women don't lie. Like we didn't know what Emmett Till happened. And a whole bunch of people before Emmett Till and after Emmett Till. A whole bunch of women have lied on men. So we can't just say, believe all women. No. Listen to the story, investigate. Believe all nobody. Investigate everything what people say. But when you say that, then you get, oh, you got daughters. Yeah, I got daughters. What would you tell them? I said, if my daughters was accusing a young man of raping them, I would tell my daughter, listen, daughter, make sure that you're telling the truth about this. This is not something to lie on somebody about. You wouldn't want somebody to lie on your dad about it or your brother or your cousins. So don't lie about this big thing.
It's going to hurt you for the rest of your life.
That's such a touchy subject. Because
that
it's
is,
a super touchy subject, but that's what I would tell her. And then we're going to go investigate it. But I'm a man. I'm never rolling with it's just because she said it's true. Because that means y'all ain't going to believe if somebody can say it about me. And you going to believe it just because she said it. And that's I'm like, hard. I don't know.
That's hard.
So I think that we got to have more nuance in our thinking. We can't just be extreme. Because all we do is go from one extreme to the next. That's all that happens. And
it's instant.
And it's instant. So it's like the Me Too movement happened, and then all the guys was like, oh, we ain't saying nothing then if we all going to lose everything just for something that happened 20 years ago and nobody got no proof on it. Like, we don't, how can you investigate something that happened in 1970?
So that's a hard one to bring into full discussion,
right?
Because as a woman who has been molested and raped, and not believed, that's a hard one for me.
And I would agree with that.
Right, because I was going to say that statement or questioning someone to the point where you're trying to prove if you believe, figure out if you believe them or not, can show a level of insensitivity for someone who has gone through that.
Right, and on the opposite side, a man who's been accused and didn't do it, like Kobe,
it still doesn't go away.
And then now it still's there. Like, you still bring it up after his death. Oh, he didn't. It was proven that she lied on him, and it didn't. And that wasn't it. So it's two sides to a coin. It ain't just one side. It's hard for a woman who's telling the truth and not believe, just like it's hard for a man who's been lied on.
So
by a woman.
Right. So Walt says, it took my therapist 10 months to even get me to think about being emotional, available, or vulnerable. It didn't make no sense to give someone the ability to have access to my emotions. And I understand that. What I'm expressing, though, is at some point, men have to graduate to the idea that longevity does lie in the ability to get in touch with your emotions,
right?
Understand them, process them, and nobody's saying give them to anybody, but they need to be expressed because we need our men to live longer.
That's a fact. I agree with her. We gotta express our emotions, but this is the thing. I tell my daughter, you can't ask for something without giving something. That's the trade-off. So I say, if you ask for the truth, then you got to create an atmosphere where truth is respected. You can't ask for the truth and then wow out, want to slash my tires, bust my windows, and then say I'm supposed to tell you the truth.
I ain't that girl.
A lot of people think, just be honest. No, but hold on.
Yeah.
Last time I was honest, you tried to stab me.
Yeah.
That ain't going to inspire me to be honest with you. What's going to inspire me to be honest with you is that when I tell you the truth, you respect it, and we work through it.
Right.
If I tell you the truth and you try to stab me, what makes you think I'm going to tell you the truth next time?
Right.
I don't know. I
don't
know the answer to
that.
So let's get it clear. Sharing your feelings to a woman is a very touchy situation. So that's really not necessarily what I'm saying either. Mm-hmm. So here's what some of my findings says. It says, since single men outnumber single women, now they're saying single men are outnumbering the single women. So that's pretty interesting. And I believe it because there are so many single men surrounded by men. Ladies, I need you to come get some of them, okay? But so here's what they're saying. They're saying men are watching a lot of social media and porn and getting their needs met without leaving the home. Since single men are outnumbering the single women, who are the women dating? They're dating each other. 1/5 of Gen Z identify as queer, with bisexual women making up a large share of young adult queer community. I'm just reading it, guys. I'm not, there's no opinion one way or the other on that. So what's happening is the women who are available, who are not dating each other, are either dating older men, or they're getting far more choosy, and so they don't want men that have less education or less earnings, and they want partners that are emotionally open and empathetic, which is opposite of the age-old masculine idea, and that women want more men. Women want more from men, and men don't have more to give.
That is a unicorn that you just described right there.
Well, it was what I found.
Yeah, that's a unicorn. That's one dude.
I think it sounds true for the newer generation. It sounds accurate to me.
Modern.
Because we're talking about generation.
For the newer generation, yeah. So we're talking about the younger people. I think it's true, and
modern.
I've seen it. I'm looking
They're
at
saying
it.
men are spent.
I got daughters.
They are spent on trying to date women and accommodate women. This article is basically saying that women want more and men don't have more to give.
Is this then that's the younger generation?
This was Gen Z.
The
But
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z affects what we do because they're the ones that are producing a lot of this mass social media. They're
doing
setting
all
the
of it.
trend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
they're-
find
all the
50-year-old
policies,
men
yeah.
talking goofy shit. You're like, hold on. You following that goofy stuff.
Right, you listening to right. I agree
So
with that.
Boy, calm down.
so Gen Z is setting a lot of the trends, and then these older people are trying to follow
Trying
suit
to
because they're
follow.
trying to keep up. They're trying to.
keep up.
you
Yeah.
know,
Older
trying
people,
to keep up.
don't keep up with the young people. Listen, this is what we got to do. We got to realize and be able to discern what's for us and what's not.
Work
Right.
together.
So let me get back to
Right.
this. Are these girl trips detrimental to a relationship?
I would
Because people are saying that all kind of stuff happens on these girl trips, and then they come back to their partners or their prospective person, and that these girl trips are out of hand.
I don't think to me it depends. I would say no. Sometimes as a man, you want your girl, hey, go.
Have a good
Go
time.
have fun.
right.
On my dime.
And I'm honest, so I believe in out of sight, out of mind. So if you go to Mexico and you sleep with somebody, and I don't find out, and you come home and we have a better
Don't go to
relationship,
Mexico.
I'm cool.
Ooh,
I'm cool with it. If I find out, obviously it's going to be a problem. So I don't think a girl trip is the problem. It's just the behavior that you're going to exhibit wherever you are.
Wherever you
whenever
are.
you are.
You
It ain't
gotta-
about the trip. It's just about you, who you are as a person.
Right.
To
I
me,
agree
more
with
than
that.
it is.
'Cause
I
I'm
think
saying-
people need time
I agree
away
with
from each
that.
other. I don't believe that you should always be around somebody 24/7 without your own space and your friends and their own space and their friends.
And holding on to your own identity. Because
Right.
part
A
of that is
fact.
your own identity.
Right.
You gotta. That's a
That's a
fact.
fact.
You gotta make time for yourself. I don't believe one person should take the burden of being your everything. You putting a burden on somebody
wait.
to be
Now
your
that's
everything
deep.
is, to me,
I-
unrealistic, and it won't work. I've never seen it work.
Say that
Yeah.
again for the people
Yeah.
in the
I've
back.
never
'Cause
seen it
that's
work.
real talk
Putting-
right there.
Making one person your everything is a great way to fuck
To-
up a relationship.
Yeah.
Great.
To put so much pressure on a person that they're gonna be either resentful, tired, or just like, man, you know what, fuck this shit.
Burn out.
So listen,
Right.
people,
Yeah.
go find your own, go get hobbies, find things outside of your partner, come back and talk about those things with passion to your partner. And if you got a good partner, they'll appreciate and like that. Oh,
That's
you
right.
learned something
Yeah.
new,
That's
and you
right.
teaching
Yeah.
me, and you happy about it. You
Yeah.
found your own happiness, other than thinking they got to do everything and be everything for you. They can't revolve around you, or you can't revolve around them, however it go. We should be two different worlds, and we come into each other's orbit. Not you revolve around me, or I revolve around you.
Yeah,
That shit is
I
too
can't-
much.
I like
I can't- I
that.
That
can't
shit
do
too much,
it.
y'all.
I
Yeah,
like
bring them
that
worlds
thought
together.
process.
Suge, what's your thoughts on the girls' trips?
I mean, he kind of explained it pretty good, but it's another side to that quarter.
It always is.
What
It
is
is.
that?
Being, I ain't talking about shit, but it's like being a dude that was on the other side of them girl trips.
Well, what? Speak on
This
it.
is
Speak on
the
it.
thing
It's real.
is this. Maybe the first one or the second one, maybe not. But when you on 4, 5, 6, and 7, you know how I go.
I don't.
Speak
I
on
don't.
it.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, of course not. It's like,
So being on the other end, you the guy that they sleeping with when they leave out of town.
yes, ma'am. I'm not happy about
All
that.
of 'em?
That's my
I
past.
understand.
That's my
I understand.
past.
You
But
think it was every girl?
the others,
That's them 16
I ain't
women.
saying every,
huh?
but you know,
There's a lot.
if this is the thing.
That's them 16
That's your
women,
girl.
huh?
If she smashed, you know she smashed because she didn't come back to the room till 8 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So you go home as a woman. You go home with that, and you keep that. Is it pillow talk, or you just keep that as a woman?
That's a
Do
good
you
question.
keep that information?
To yourself?
If you go
That
to-
you slept with somebody
Hey,
while
say
you
you
was
know-
out of town?
No, say y'all going to girl
She
trip.
knows
Let's-
that you smashed somebody
Y'all
when you
go on
went
a
to
girl
wherever.
trip. Y'all go on a girl
Hold
trip.
on.
Me and you smash. She know that me and you smash. That you with Suge. You Suge girl. She got her husband at the house. How does that weigh on her? What do you do if that?
oh, that
happens?
don't bother me
That
one bit.
ain't-
That is
Yeah,
not my
that's
issue.
not her
High five.
business.
I like it. I'm the same way. Like,
That
yo,
ain't
that's
her
That is not my
business.
business.
And
I mean,
it might have made
business.
me and your relationship better. I might have been tired of your ass. You might have learned something new. Come home,
Right.
cook me
Now-
some
And
fried
she
rice or
came
something.
home happy.
am I talking about
I'm out
it?
of sight, out of mind.
funny.
It depends on the level of relationships I have with
With
the
your
man,
man?
because I believe I should be able to come home and tell him I had a naked truth.
I agree. I agree with you. But
I left
you got
that
to make
shit
sure you know that.
20,000 miles away.
I agree with you.
You got
but
to
you gotta know your man.
You gotta know your
he's that solid.
Because we not on
U.S.
soil.
Hey, I'm that solid, y'all. I'm that solid.
I don't
man.
want
I ain't
a man
gonna
that I
tell
cannot be honest with in everything that I do.
So are you that type of man too? That if she went away,
he talking about shut the fuck up and all of that. He gone, girl.
If she want to bust it over,
yeah, while she's out of town, but she feels like she needs to tell you because of.
I mean, long as I get the same respect, I don't care.
Really?
So it's
as long as she allows you that same
our situationship, yes. Bust it over.
So Nicole Michelle said girls trips are outlets to get back in touch with themselves as women without the day-to-day regular life, and that's the average
that
girl.
Shit sound good.
The other ones that are going out there acting a fool.
That shit sound good, Nicole. That's what all of them use. That's the blanket that the ones who going out there to do the fuck shit use too.
Them the ones that doing it. Like the ones that complain about why you mad about the body count. They're the ones with the body count. The ones with the body count ain't complain.
But I do believe there are some women that are doing that.
So I'm gonna ask one more question.
Some that don't.
I'm gonna ask one more question.
I agree.
In the essence of time.
Let
me shout out before I forget. Happy birthday to my daughter Taylor, and happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Taylor.
Happy birthday.
How old are you, girl?
Today is their birthday.
So today is my niece / daughter's birthday.
Happy birthday, Candace.
And tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and then Sunday is
birthday,
my other daughter's birthday.
You had some back to back.
Happy birthday.
I had
Whitney.
back to. So listen, my girls are 8 years apart. And they're 2 days apart in birthdays.
How you time that shit?
So I don't know. June, I busted open.
So summertime. She said summertime.
What's in June?
Summertime.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's because you was married to a Gemini, so that made sense, right?
I was married to a Gemini. His birthday was in
hot
June.
outside,
So
right?
It was hot outside.
Because my daughter's birthday is this month too,
That's
and I'm a Gemini, so I understand.
It goes down in June. It goes down. So Kanoy says, I find it rare to find a man that can take that honesty. It just men cannot, but they want women to. You hear what I'm saying?
The younger cats can't do it because they ain't elevated that high yet.
I think that it's hard for people to take honesty. We all say we want it, but what do you do when you get it? That tells me what you wanted if you really want it or not. What do you do when you get it? I think we all say, yeah, be honest, but then I think we don't show that when we get it.
Well, what about a man that automatically assumes that that's the case, and you're just like, no, I didn't, but he's like, you know what?
I can't stand fighting that battle. I'm out.
Yeah, that's
a hard battle.
But
men have that battle too.
It's on you to prove him wrong, or don't go through that.
I'm not proving.
No. I'm saying it's your choice. Don't prove it or try to prove it.
Yeah, I'm out.
So why would you deal with that if?
Yeah.
So why the hell I wouldn't?
This is why the women keep demanding we have these conversations, because they really just
want to know.
They really want to know. And we got to figure out where that fits in. Tay says my ex show didn't have his own identity. Yeah, he did. He wrapped his life around his family, and there's nothing really wrong with that.
That's
as
gangster.
Long as it really is. At the end of the day, have no regrets.
Right.
Have
no regrets.
That's what the hell you want a man to do.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Right there.
You do. So at the end of the day, we're finding that more men are available. So women, with this being Women's History Month, go find your person. They are available and they are out there. And let me say this. There is a foodie fest going on. Would you guys, are you guys planning on attending any of those?
I don't know.
I think we want to cover the foodie. But let me ask you men something. Yeah. Is there a restaurant of choice that you would take a woman to?
Depends on what she likes. Seafood. Most women like seafood.
Is there a restaurant?
They love crab legs.
DB's.
I love me some seafood.
DB's. Cajun Kitchen.
DB's before.
All right. Well.
434 Craig Road.
I'm thinking more a little upscale.
Upscale? What if you wanted to take her somewhere upscale and show her how you really feel?
Man, give me an upscale example, ma'am.
Nah, because they don't be having the fire food, though.
They don't.
Steak, Hell's Kitchen.
I need an example.
Yeah. Steak, Hell's Kitchen.
All the upscale spots I went to, the food wasn't fire. It was way expensive and less fire.
Hell's Kitchen not upscale, but
Emeralds. Yes, it is.
Look, I've been to Ruth Chris. I've been to Smith and Lewinsky's. I've been to the Range.
That's all I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't like them. To me, I'd rather have good food than just high price food.
I'd rather
Thank
cook
you.
some food. So we are coming to the end. Most men want monogamous women.
Quick.
Vicky says, "Hey," and
Hey,
Jay Simone
Vicky.
says, "Yes, Foodie Fest." So we're going to be attending that Foodie Fest at the end of the month. Jezzi and I are going to put some things together next week. We're going to talk about. I think we're going to cover.
Hey, we trying to go. What's up?
Yeah, we're going to
Yes,
cover it. We're going to definitely go out and
We
cover the
covering it?
food.
Yes.
Yep, we're going to talk about all these different, supposed to be over 100 vendors.
Ooh, that's
so
gonna be nice.
Pay attention to
Give
our social
us
media. We'll be
The
talking more
information
about
and
it.
we'll be there.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, be squad.
Y'all coming
Listen,
through?
it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Always.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm glad that you guys are candid and open. And all I want to
appreciate
say
it, too.
again is, as women in Women Histories Month, find you your person. Every woman performs a lot better when she has someone who is supporting
Yes,
and loving
she
her
does. I
wholeheartedly.
agree.
So find somebody who loves you that way, who can
Right.
care about you, who can, actually support your dream. So with
Right.
that, we're out. It's Jnine and Jezzi.
Yay.
Q
she
Mecca,
said.
J9
two
and
taps
Every
Jezzi.
up.
Thursday, 6 p.m. You can find us here.
Great.
Sending peace, love, and light,
Thanks to our guests.
prosperity, and protection. Thank you, fellas, so much.
Hey, in the words
And
of
I
Suge,
second that.
quit waiting for the men to talk to you. Go find them.
Go
I
get
agree with
your
that.
man.
Go in
I
this
agree with
inbox
that.
and tell them
That's
you're
how-
going to bust it
Go
open.
get them. Good
Right.
night.
Bye-bye.
I was
Stop
going to say,
playing.
that's how my brother found
Stop
his
playing.
first wife. She came up to him and asked him to date.